Okay, yeah, so Len DiCostanzo here, CEO at MSP Toolkit. Really appreciate everybody taking time out of your day to join the webinar today. Actually, I always love to congratulate MSPs and partners for jumping in, because we all know how busy your day is. So we know you're looking for some great information. And as you can see, we've got a great team here to help you out. So we're here for the LastPass MSP Onboarding Accelerator. And we're going to talk about how to get started quickly using LastPass MSP and getting started deploying LastPass into your client base, and actually first deploying it internally to use in your business. So we will get rolling right now. So what you see here is we've got a bunch of presenters and panelists here today. We've got presenters, Tony and Jen, and we'll have Rich and Leah in the background providing support and Q&A. So maybe to get us rolling, we'll have Rich kick off, introduce himself, and we'll have everybody kind of chat, introduce themselves after that.
Yeah, thank you, everybody, and thanks for joining. I laughed because there's a big typo on that front screen there. It's just Rich, like a normal Rich, R-I-C-H. So I don't know where the T comes from. I do, when I do get mail, and sometimes they do that with the T in there, but it is just Rich .catch at GoTo. So.
The beautiful thing,
yeah.
Rich, is you know, we can
go ahead and do that. So yeah,
fly.
and then the email address too. The email address too, please, Len.
Darn it.
Anyway,
Rich.
so yeah. So I'm the senior sales manager for the LastPass MSP program, and excited to really take you on the journey from, okay, you signed up, but now how do I actually go out and onboard it? How do I actually go and deploy this product? And that's what Jen's going to go over today. So we're really excited about it. So Jen Plonski is one of our enablement specialists here. In joining her as well for any technical questions that might come up in the chat. Myself, I'll be manning that with Leah Sosha, who's also on that team as well, and a member of my team, Tony, thought process on how to monetize the product. So look forward to this webinar and really showing you what the LastPass MSP tool set can do for you and to generate revenue and to get it onboarded easily. So thank you.
Yeah, good, Rich. Thanks for the intro. Tony, why don't you say hello to the crowd?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Tony Howler, Senior Strategic Partner Manager here for LastPass. And, so my role is really to be kind of that advisor to the business to help, find ways to grow revenue. How do you deploy LastPass, across your client base, really help just be kind of a partner.
Great. And Jen, the star of our show, is going to deliver on the onboarding topics. Jen?
Yeah, sure. I'm actually the onboarding specialist here for the LastPass MSP program. So basically, if, or let's say when you guys become MSPs with us, I'll be the one to help you get your account set up and do your initial training, make sure that, you're good to go as far as getting things started. So that's kind of what we'll go over today. We'll give you kind of a small taste of how the LastPass MSP console will work for you.
Awesome. Jen and Leah?
I'm Leah Sosha. I'm here in sunny Florida, and I'm an enablement specialist. So once you meet with Jen, when you're ready to deploy either your internal licenses for your own company and or set up some new customers under your managed companies, I'm here to help you through those first steps to make sure you have everything set and ready to go to sell LastPass.
Very good. Well, all right, my panelists and support team and presenters, I'll just delve into the rest of the session and get us rolling. So again, a lot of folks behind the scenes ready to help you not only today, but into your time. And we're actually going to offer a free trial, help you through your trial, help you as a partner. So with that, we have a little housekeeping. One thing I would love to see right now to kind of see what we have out there is maybe everyone could kind of share where they're calling in from, so we can kind of get a sense how far, near you might be coming from. Maybe hit in the chat window so we could see everybody sharing where they are. I see Rick just joined. We've got a ton of folks in here, probably north of 60 attendees. So I'd love to see where you all are. Let me hit me with a chat. How about you, Tal? Maybe Tim Pinello or Travis. Reach out, let us know where you're all coming in from. Use that Q&A. Yes, Leah. Is this the chat? You are in the question box, Joshua, but that's fine. Ben, nice. Way to go. So anyway, type your questions in. We've got Leah and Rich in the background. Going to answer it. We are going to follow up with the webinar in recorded format. We'll give you a link We've got the PowerPoint also will come, and we'll do Q&A throughout the session. So we're going to get rolling pretty quick here. We've got a lot to cover. We're going to have several insights we're going to share. I'm going to provide some introductions and overview to the LastPass platform. This way you can kind of get ready for Jen, who's going to give you that LastPass MSP onboarding overview as detailed as you can get in the time we have. We will be sending you a link to a more detailed onboarding webinar you could follow as you start your trial. And then we're going to bring Tony in, and he's going to really talk about, once you're onboarded, how we help you go to market at LastPass, how LastPass helps you go to market with the toolkits and the playbooks that we provide everyone out there. And then I'll leave you with some next steps, and stay tuned to the end. We are going to just share how you can get your hands on a free trial. So with that, let's go. I always like to kind of get a gauge of what's going on out there. So who we're talking to. So we're going to start with a polling question and kind of launch. And we really want to know, are you a LastPass partner right now? And if not, let us know. But are you here longer than 6 months? That to us would mean you've been through onboarding. Perhaps you missed it. We have definitely seen partners think they can just kind of start and get going, and some are successful, some are not. If you're here less than 6 months, we're hoping you went through enablement and your onboarding journey. If not, again, great to know. And if you're just here to learn more, to probably learn more how to join this LastPass MSP program, it's going to be great. And you can just answer no if you want. So we're going to try to get a big chunk of you voting, and we will see who's out there. So we've got about 55% in. And working with Rich and the team, we've built a LastPass MSP program that really caters to your needs. We want to meet you where you are in your journey, growing your cybersecurity stack. We did a webinar probably 3 weeks ago, how you can jump in and join the LastPass MSP program. This webinar is to show you how you get onboarded. You can always go back, watch that recording, and we've got a bunch of folks pull in. So let's just kind of see what we have, and we'll share it. So here we can see that we've got a bunch of folks that are partners already for more than 6 months, 11%, 57% looking to learn more, and we're really looking to help you see that. And if you're here more than 6 months, 23%, hopefully we help you pick up what you might have missed. And we've got some no's out there, and that's just fine. So great, really appreciate the responses in the poll. So we'll do a couple more the rest of the day. So just to kind of get us level set here, the LastPass MSP offering is more than just LastPass, but the base package does include LastPass for Business. And that's password management, which includes unlimited single sign-on, normally paid for by end users if they were to purchase it any other way. And you get families as a benefit for your end users to kind of build out your community of LastPass users. As perhaps employees leave your clients and they go elsewhere, they're just going to remember that you helped implement LastPass. So the base package is LastPass Business, and the add-on here is advanced multi-factor authentication, which yields a lot of upside for you. Passwordless login on your workstations, VPN legacy app, MFA. And the nice thing is, you're attending this trial today. If you email Rich Getch at goto.com, and again, I'm going to edit right in the middle here, and I guess, Rich, I think it's correct here. For some reason, I got it right. So you can email Rich Getch. Is that right, Rich?
That is correct.
Excellent. So if you want a LastPass free trial, just email Rich. He'll get you the link, and we'll make sure you get that onboarding webinar and or engage you with Jen and Leah on the enablement side. So a really nice offering that really completes or gives you the start of an identity and access management solution that you can add into your cybersecurity stack. And I just listened to a CompTIA study, and basically MSPs are really stepping up, growing their cybersecurity stack. And it really is something you have to be considering on an ongoing basis. How do you grow your stack? How do you protect your client base and your business from those bad actors out there? And if you were to sign up for LastPass MSP, the product itself provides tons of benefits to our MSP partners, we do provide free internal use licenses, so you're going to be able to secure your business, reduce those service tickets, perhaps the angst of your users as they're forgetting their passwords and they need to reset it and they're just kind of fumbling around. Incremental MRR. It's always nice to grow your recurrent revenue stream, and that's what LastPass provides you. In addition to a project stream, maybe deploying LastPass and training your clients, you now get that incremental license MRR, but more importantly, you're securing your client base and your business, and that's really key here. And LastPass MSP is built for MSPs, purpose-built in that it's multi-tenancy for a single pane of glass view. No longer would you have to, and we've had many partners who tell their clients to go direct, or perhaps they sign up for their clients, and then in fact, now they have to log in to administer individual instances. And the multi-tenancy gives you that single pane of glass view. And you could definitely take on that consumption billing approach. And we do have a yearly commitment, which provides a few more benefits with Rich's team. And we do have integrations with your Autotask, ConnectWise PSAs and Active Directory. And I think real key here is, of course, your client base multi-tenant, you're going to see those security notifications as they happen and keep you informed. And of course, that free families as a benefit really helps your clients in their personal life. And we all know folks are working at home, so there's going to be some, kind of overlap, and you really want to ensure there's protection across that desktop in the home office. And of course, your clients get benefits from the product itself. Now, these are just a short list of the benefits because there are tons of things available inside LastPass MSP to help your clients, but it is a market-leading solution that your clients, you used to hear the term, you don't get fired for, buying IBM. I don't know how that shows my age, but, that used to be a saying. And I think going with a market-leading solution helps. And of course, the benefits for your clients, you're going to have secure clients and reduce their risk of a password breach. And we know what's been going on out there because every day we read about a breach. And if clients are not using, your client users are not using solid password behavior, they're going to really put that organization at risk. And of course, increase their productivity due to the fact they are wasting less time as they access all their applications. They don't have to remember passwords. They don't have to look for it if they're using LastPass MSP. And they're just going to be way more happy than they would be otherwise. And I think the key here is they are managed by you, the partner, the MSP, who takes on that outsourced IT responsibility for the smaller clients and kind of helping and supplementing those larger organizations. So a lot of benefits all around for both you, your business, your employees, as well as your clients with LastPass MSP. And on top of that, as a LastPass MSP partner, you do get and receive a lot of what we call next level benefits. We spent a lot of time over the last 6-9 months building out a robust program that provides you a dedicated partner manager like Tony Haller, who you're going to hear from later on, who really helps you on the sales side, helping you get into your client base as well as generate new business. And I mentioned free internal use licenses where active partners can deploy LastPass MSP internally at no cost. And we know a lot of the competitors are charging you for that. We want you to use the product internally. We want you to use the IAM solution, Identity Access Management, LastPass MSP in your business. And this shows our commitment to you as a partner. You have access to on-demand playbooks. Tony's going to give you a quick look at the end of the webinar, towards the end after Jen, so stay tuned and you'll see all of the on-demand access to enablement, badging, and go-to-market guidance we provide for our LastPass MSP partners. And more importantly, we've got a bunch of toolkit assets. We like to call them a sales and marketing toolkit with brandable assets. You can put your logo on, digital nurture campaigns, and other go-to-market assets that really help you drive awareness in your client base and perhaps go out there and have you hook some new business where you can drag in all of your other managed services and solutions into that new prospect's business. And of course, we sell with our partners. You're not out there on your own. We know enablement. We have a great onboarding journey. You're going to see some of it today. We have a really robust and comprehensive enablement journey, but that doesn't mean you're ready when you go to market. And we're there to help you do those initial deployments and really help you build that muscle memory that's going to make you kind of that long-term partner that is very successful out there in the market. And we also provide one-to-one enablement for committed partners, and really the commitment level's up to you. Rich can share that with you, but we have on-demand enablement. You can go at your own pace, meet yourself where you are accessing that content, or we can kind of go through an assessment, see what you need, and help you get there. And of course, a partner support portal. It's much more than opening and managing tickets. That's where you get the on-demand playbooks and access to those toolkits and the assets. So a bunch of benefits on the product side, a bunch of benefits in the LastPass MSP partner program. So a lot is available to get you started. And I talked about a comprehensive onboarding and enablement journey, and this is what Jen's going to cover in a second. But we get you operationally and pretty much ready to go to market across some key areas. We help you administer your system, get up and running, deploy your internal use licenses, and then we help you get technically ready as well as sales and marketing ready, because we want to provide that support, get you started quickly, selling into your client base, which we think is key. And as you come out of enablement, not only is your partner manager there to support you, but we've also got SE and other pre-sale support ready to help you go. So on the resources to target your client base, that's your next journey. Once you come out of enablement, we've seen a lot of success, of course, targeting your client base and picking a percentage, perhaps tackling 25%, maybe 50%. We've certainly seen partners include LastPass MSP, the solution stack, in their core offerings, and actually look to cover, 80, 90, 100% of their base, or whoever has that core managed service offering that partners offer their client base. We have focused campaigns to help you target your client base, and that partner manager is going to help you look through your client base, identify opportunities, and then show you the assets to drive awareness that you learn during that enablement journey, marketing readiness. But we are going to help you engage your clients, deploy that initial set of licenses, and then you are going to move on into winning new business and using all the tools we provide to hook new clients and then sell your whole stack, right? It's sometimes easier to raise awareness in a stranger over perhaps password breaches, perhaps MFA and requirements that lead them to have to consider those type of solutions and run those campaigns to drive awareness to some new names on and bring in some new business. And we will provide those pre-sales resources for you as well. And if you're out there trying to drum up new business, whether to clients or new or to prospects, we'll help you present. We'll put on one of our experts and talk password management and really support your efforts to sell. But we're here to focus on onboarding and accelerating your onboarding with LastPass MSP. And for that, we're going to bring in Jen. But before we bring in Jen, I want to just set Jen up a little bit. And one of the key things we talk about here is getting started quickly. And as Jen gets you onboarded quickly, we believe the market opportunity is in your client base. And maybe you can respond to this question so you could understand across the attendee list what kind of opportunity is out there. And I bring this up because there's always so many stats about market opportunity, the $72 billion opportunity for managed services, and I'm making some numbers up, but those numbers are typically out of reach for most folks. So what I'm hoping here is we can get a bunch of you just to share what your market opportunity is out there for a solution like LastPass MSP that is a kind of full-fledged identity and access management solution stack you can plug right into your core managed service offering. We know cybersecurity insurance carriers are requiring password management, MFA, SSO in certain cases to even get covered. So as you look in your client base, you can do the math. $6 a user for LastPass, $3 for MFA, whatever price you're putting out there, you can now kind of calculate what your market opportunity is. So we're seeing a pretty nice turnout for this poll, and it really helps us get a sense of kind of what you have as an opportunity out there, whether a partner to be, and maybe get a couple more votes in there, and we'll close the poll, get us started. And we're up over 65% respondents. If you want to be included, pop it in. Let's get it to 70, a couple more. And I'd say we're about to close the poll, and let's kind of see what we have out there. So what we've got is a pretty solid representation across the spectrum here. 22% managing less than 300 users, and that's fantastic. It must mean you're really just getting going. One of the other things we'll help you do at LastPass MSP, and certainly you can reach out here to MSP Toolkit, we can help you grow from that 300 user base on up to 500, 750, and 1,000. So you can always reach out, MSP Toolkit. We have great programs for MSPs to accelerate your managed service practice. 27% up to 1,000 users, and 27% of you are between 1,000 to 3,000 users. That's a pretty nice size MSP. And 11% more than 3,000 users. That's a pretty incredible audience, in my opinion. Those that are not sure, that's fantastic. You're probably doing a lot of support work and making sure your organization hums. So thanks for that turnout. And with that, Jen, maybe get that video going and we'll introduce you. Hey, Jen, how are you?
I'm doing good, Len. How are you?
All right. So what are we going to cover today, Jen?
All right. So basically, I get to take you guys through the fun stuff. I'm going to do a quick demo for you, showing you the look and feel of the LastPass MSP console. We just introduced kind of a new dashboard. So even those of you that are already on here and have went through some onboarding, you'll definitely see some differences. Show you how to deploy your free internal licenses that you'll get with your MSP account. Show you how to add some administrators once you add those internal users. So anyone that you want to have access to administer your internal account or your clients, we'll show you how to do that. Take a look at some key policies. So there's a ton of policies in there. That's one thing that separates us from a lot of competitors, but we'll focus on a couple of the key ones, make sure you're aware of those. And then get into setting up your clients. So what's nice about it is, you'll log into one portal to manage your company, your passwords, and you'll also be able to manage your clients from there. And then I'll take you quickly through the Partner Exchange portal, just make sure that you guys know, how you'll access that. And then, Tony will give a little bit more of an overview of that as well.
Awesome. So Jen, on that policy settings, I do think that's what separates, LastPass from the crowd. I think there was over 100 policies, and I think we saw a recent, competitive that talked about, less than 50 in some of the competitive products. So I think that's pretty positive. So I'm going to give you control, Jen, and you can take it and share your screen, and away you go. And Jen's been working with so many MSPs. We got Leah in the back, who's constantly working with partners as well, Rich and Tony. So please ask questions throughout. I'm going to take a peek, and we're going to have a little Q&A right after Jen before we move on to Tony. So that'll kind of, get us rocking and rolling. So Jen, I'll leave you to it. I'll hide my screen and I'll mute and watch behind the scenes.
All right, great. So right now I'm in that admin dashboard, so in the admin console. And once you were either logged into LastPass or from your browser extension, if you are an admin, you'll have quick access straight from there to go to the admin console. Or if you're in your vault, there's an option on the left to get here as well. So when you first come into the admin console, you're looking at your internal dashboard. So at your company, it gives you a quick view of your data, how your business is using LastPass. So real quick, you get some graphs here that will show you, currently, out of everyone you've invited, who's enrolled. So who's, compared to who's invited, who might not have accepted the invitation. It'll show you that information here. Utilization rate, so who's actually logging in and using LastPass. Hopefully your scores will be a lot higher here than my demo account that I'm in right now. So hopefully you'll have high utilization rates here. What's nice is you can do some quick actions here on the left. So if you notice there was a large number of unresponsive users, so you invited them and they never set up their LastPass account, I can click view and re-invite. It pops up a panel, shows me who those people are, and then I can go ahead and resend those invitations out. So they'll get another email reminding them to set up their accounts. Same thing with inactive users. So if they haven't used LastPass in the last month, they haven't logged in at all, again, you can view, then remind those users. And then at the bottom, you'll have a nice security report. So it'll kind of give you some scores here within your organization, you know, the average security score, average password strength. And again, you get some exact numbers here. You know, 30% of your users have weak master passwords. I can view those users real quick. We actually have email reminders too that you can send out. So part of our features in here is if you wanted to send out a reminder every so often to those that have weak passwords or reusing their master passwords, you're able to do that. So you'll have that nice view here. Again, this is our internal account, and you'll see as you add a client, you'll have a dashboard for them. So you could click on a client and kind of get this same view to see what's going on very quickly with them. So when you first come in, like I mentioned, we're in our internal account. So at the top are kind of your main controls here. So when you go into users on this screen, this would be your internal free licenses. So these are, you know, you might hear them called NFR or UIL licenses. This is that area where you'd be able to see or invite. So if you first come in here, you set up a new trial, you'll be the only person in the account. So what you're able to do is at the top right, click your add user button. And you can see that at the top, you have a couple options. You know, if I just put in users, leave it at invite, add them, they'll get an email right away. You know, you've been invited to join the LastPass account, or you have the option to stage them. So if you're not quite ready to send them that notification that they have a LastPass account that's ready to set up, you can put them in the staging mode. And then there's a few different ways to add in the users. You know, if you have a few users, you can just type in that email and then, you know, add the users. Or you have a CSV file option. So, you know, if you had a larger list and you wanted to upload a CSV file with those users and emails, you could do that. And then we also have your automatic provisioning. So you could set up an AD sync here. And then you'll have these exact same options for your clients. So what's nice is, you know, we go over in onboarding and internal setup first, because once you know how to do these steps internally, it's basically the exact same process that you're going to go through with your clients. So their screen to add users will look the exact same as this. And in my user list internally, you know, I can quickly see who's invited, you know, whose invitation has expired. If anyone had multi-factor enabled, you'd be able to quickly view that information here. On the left are kind of your subgroups for users. So once you add in your users, you can create groups. Groups come in handy with the policies, with shared folders. So you could set up a policy and exclude a group or only include a certain group. And same thing with shared folders. So one nice thing with the LastPass accounts is you can share passwords and folders and multiple passwords with other users. And if I have a whole, you know, folder portfolio of passwords that needs to go to everyone in finance, I could just select that group and it would send it to every person in that group. In groups, pretty easy. You add the new group, name it, like here, finance, and then you would add your users. Admin levels, I just want to point out, because when you first add users to LastPass, so if I invite 20 users from my company, they get the invite and they are just a regular LastPass user. So that means if they log into their account, they'll have their password vault, and that's pretty much it. They would be able to manage their own passwords, you know, receive shared passwords and information. If there's anyone though at your organization that you want to be able to have the admin rights and see this admin dashboard that we're in, then you'll have to make sure once the users are added, you'll come to admin levels on the left, and then you can see we have a number of different levels here. The main admin level is basically means I'm an admin in my internal account and I'm an admin for each client as well. And then you have help desk admin levels, which are a little bit more limited into what they can do and access. Super admins, we're going to point out a couple policies that go along with this, but super admin is a step above this admin here. It really just includes a couple additional policies. So we suggest, you know, maybe setting up one super admin because there's a good policy in there around resetting master passwords and accessing shared folders. So from here, again, I can click super admin and then assign users, and it lets me pick who do I want to be the super admin, and I can select the name and assign those users. Now, if you have clients, or I'm sorry, if you have employees that you only want to manage your clients, That's actually in a policy. So we're going to dig into policies next. But just in case you're wondering, right now it's not on this screen, on this admin screen, but it's within the policies that you can say, okay, these employees at my company, I want them to be admins, but only for our clients. I don't want them having access to my internal account, our internal business account. So again, we went to users. Over on the left are your different subgroups, and this is all, again, that internal account. If I go into policies next, so, you know, I have my admin set up, or I need to get all my admins set up. When I come into policies, it will first show you policies that are enabled within LastPass. And we have a number of policies, not this many. So, you know, we've enabled some, you know, as we've been using it, but there's about 10 or so policies. You're going to come in and they're already enabled. Obviously, they're ones we suggest you have turned on. If it's something you want to disable, you'll be able to do that. But just keep in mind, if you first come in, it's only showing enabled. So if I tried to search for something here, it's only searching these ones that are enabled. So usually when I come into policies, one of the first things I do is hit this reset option. So that way now it's listing out every policy. And, you know, I might not go down this entire list because, as Len mentioned, we have hundreds of policies in here. But what you can do is go to the policy categories. So we have some nice categories in here to help split things out. So one of the first ones you might want to look at is recommended. So if I choose recommended, these are policies, you know, outside the defaults that are already turned on that we recommend you might want to take a look at and turn on. By default, they will all be disabled. So you can see there's a few that I already have enabled. So the length of passwords, the super admin to access shared folders, super admins to reset master passwords. You can see those are enabled. So those are two, again, I like to point out, we mentioned that super admin function. So once you make someone a super admin, then you'll want to make sure you have these policies turned on. So that way, you know, as a last resort, if somebody forgets their master password, absolutely can't get into that account, the super admin will be able to work with them to reset that. And then also the super admin will have access to shared folders. So that way, if somebody at the company leaves that was an admin of that shared folder, the super admin is able to get into those folders. So those are two, again, we would definitely recommend is the super admins turned on to enable those. So that's the recommended category. Again, I'm going to do reset so I can view them all. And I'm going to take a quick look under administration because I want to point out this one here, the grant limited access to admin console. So this is one we kind of added specifically for our MSPs. And in this policy, you can see, and one thing with all the policies, you click on the policy, it pops up this panel, which shows you additional information. So this tells me more about this policy and what it will do. But specifically, this number 5 is the one I mentioned earlier. So any employees that you have at your company that are going to work with clients, they're going to need to, you know, add, disable users, you know, set policies up for them, manage their accounts. You can add them in this policy. So here, you know, is the number 5 option. So the first step with any policy, if you want to turn it on, you'll click the drop down and enable it. For this particular one, I would have to go into settings. And then you could put the 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. So I made sure the 5 was in there. You'd be able to save changes. And then the next step is, who do I want to add to this policy? So out of my users, I can search for whoever I want to add to this policy. And then I'm able to assign them. So then anyone added to this policy, they'll have an admin dashboard, but it's very limited. And they're only able to get in there and work in the dashboard for the clients, not internally. So as I mentioned, there's a ton of policies in here. So again, once everything's reset, you have the search box at the top left. So if you knew specifically what you were looking for, you could come up here and search. And then once policies and everything are set up, your users are in there internally. Also in policies too, let me come back here one more time in reset. Included with the regular LastPass license is also the multi-factor. So in here, you can enable and kind of enforce that, you know, anyone that's logging into LastPass uses, you know, one of these multi-factor authentications. So besides the master password, it'll prompt them for that additional one in here. So that's pretty much it on the internal setup. So to get started, again, you'll go to users, you can add your users here. You'll make sure your policies are in place. Again, we have that multi-factor in there. We have some advanced multi-factor and single sign-on we're not going to get into on this call, but again, there's a lot more features in here. So on your initial onboarding call, we definitely get into a lot of detail. But again, that's a quick overview. Once your account's set up internally, if I come back to my main dashboard, so I'm back home, I click on the home button, the left-hand side, you have your managed companies. So this is that main difference that makes this an MSP account, is I can come in here and I can add all my clients that I'm working with and then get their users set up, their policies, and manage everything for their LastPass accounts. So when you first come in here, if you don't have any clients you've entered yet, then the first thing you'll do is click on that Create Managed Company button. And it's pretty simple. So to get a company in here, you would just put in the company name. I'll put in my side hustle here. So Furniture by Jen. Licenses to allocate is going to default to 11. If I try to change that to less than 11, I can't save it. So just keep that in mind, and I'll show you real quick how to change that. If you're more than 11, you're fine. You can still create it here. So you put in your client, the licenses to allocate, and you click Create. And that's all you have to do. So if I scroll down, these are in alphabetical order. Here's my new client, and you can see it even highlights that this is a new client. Count numbers here if I ever need that for calling in support. And then another thing to note, if you look at the column headers up here, I have available licenses and I have consumed licenses. So as far as billing, right now for Furniture by Jen, I added 11 licenses. None of those are consumed. I haven't set anyone up yet. So if the billing happened today, I actually would not be billed anything for Furniture by Jen. So you're not billed necessarily on what you allocate. It'll be on when you set their account up, you know, you attach an email to that account and get them set up. That's when you would start getting billed. So if you're ever kind of wondering, what am I going to get billed for? You can look there. And then you can click this line item. So you'll notice there is managed company, but before I actually get in there, if I needed to update the licenses, so I had to put in 11, but they only needed 5, I can click on there, click manage. Oh, sorry, I didn't want to click manage company yet. On this screen, if you click the 3 dots there, it actually gives you more options for their licenses. So you can allocate additional licenses if they needed some more. I can return some. So as I mentioned, in this instance, I want to return a few. So we'll say that I only need 5. So let's return 6 of those, save changes. And then if we look at Furniture by Jen, now it's 5 allocated. So once I get the licenses in place, okay, you know, they're good to go. They're going to have 5 users. That's when you could click Manage Company. And it's actually now taking me out of my internal account. I have that same dashboard. So the dashboard kind of looks the same, but notice now it says up here under this dashboard, you know, Furniture by Jen. So I'm actually in their account. And your other best indicator is you'll always have the blue bar here. So if you see this blue bar and it says back to primary account, that tells you you're not in your primary account. You're in a customer's account. The customer name's listed here on the left. But notice the controls at the top are the same. So once the company's in here, it's pretty simple to set them up. You'll go to users. Right now they don't have any, so I would click to add their users. Even before that, I'd say for clients, you probably would want to go into policies first. So before you start inviting users, come into policies. Again, these are the defaults. How I mentioned there's not that many turned on initially. And then you'll be able to come in here, you know, reset those enabled ones, search for what you want to make sure you have turned on for that client. Once you get the policies in place, again, you can go back to users, add in those users. And again, you have access to some reports too. So internally and for each customer, when you go to reports, you have some nice general reports in here. There's a nice security one that you'd be able to see for your client, you know, who's reusing those master passwords, weak security scores. So it's kind of nice. So everything up here right now, again, is for my client Furniture by Jen. If I'm done working with them, I hit that back to primary account, and now it takes me back to my internal account. So again, users here are my internal users. I have the adoption dashboard. That's my internal dashboard. So that, like I said, is kind of what separates it from a LastPass account. Is when you're in the dashboard, you're going to have your manage company option. This is where you're going to be able to enter in your clients and manage them. So Apple calls me and they need a few more licenses, I can come in here, allocate some more. They need me to deactivate somebody, I'll click manage company and go into their users and be able to deactivate. So again, even if you're not real familiar with LastPass, once you learn kind of the admin, features, adding users, setting up policies, maybe some of the basic MFA stuff, and then you add your clients, it's the same process. So it's really pretty easy to use, especially anyone that's already familiar with LastPass. So if you've already used LastPass Business or even personal on the side, you can see that this makes it pretty easy, and you only have one login to do everything. So again, that's just a quick overview. If you actually, join as an MSP, we do a really in-depth onboarding and specific to things that you want to look at and your customers are interested in. So this is that dashboard. So the admin console within LastPass. The other thing that I just want to point out real quick is once you are added as an MSP partner, you'll have access to what we call Partner Exchange. This is a really nice area. So you'll get an email initially that will say you've been invited to the Partner Exchange Network. It'll have your username and a temporary password. So you'll be able to use that and log in. Once you're logged in, you'll do a little bit of setup. It'll have you update your contact information, and then you'll come to the home page. And then in here, we have a lot of good stuff. We have marketing materials in here. So there's a whole marketing library, and you have a lot of good documents in here on LastPass. Well, you should have a lot of good documents in there on LastPass. So when you go into marketing library, typically you would have access to all of those documents. Also, along with the marketing library, you have training options. So we have a really good kind of robust on-demand training, and within there, we have certification courses built in. So this kind of gives you an idea of what it will look like. So you'll go to on-demand training. This is the initial screen that comes up. You're able to click on this deploying LastPass. This is where I, tell people this is a good starting point, because that'll load you into what we call our playbook. And then the playbook, you can see on the left, it outlines pretty much, everything that you should do. And if you go through this entire list, you're an expert on LastPass. You're an expert MSP seller. You can support LastPass, implement it. And included in here are, like I said, a lot of certifications. So Sharp Seller is a certification course. The certification courses, actually, if you pass them, we send you a badge for those. So each step might have a number of things you have to do. So it might have documents that you'll read, a video that you'll go through, a certification course that you'll take. And you can see as I complete them, it checks them off. You can skip over certain sections. You can assign different sections and say, okay, I need my sales team to go through just this part. I need my marketing team to go through this part. So this is really nice. And like I said, when you first come in here, deploying is the playbook, but you have other videos and areas that you can go to. And that's all from this homepage. So you have the marketing, the training, and then you can always add additional users too. So under the company profile is an area you can add additional users. And like I said, Tony will highlight it a little bit more, but I just wanted to point out real quick to give you an idea of what it will look like when you do get that initial email from us. So hopefully I didn't take up too much time, Len. It's back to you. I don't know if there's anything additional you want to add on this page here or from the LastPass console, but that's all I have.
Yeah, no, that was a wonderful overview. Even I picked up some new stuff there, Jen. So, if anybody wants to see anything special, we could probably give Jen another minute or two. Otherwise, I'll take it back. We've got Tony, who's going to share a little bit more detail on the playbook. But Jen, wonderful job. Looks like I'm not seeing anyone saying, show me more. But we will be sharing a link to a more detailed on-demand webinar in the follow-up email, so stay tuned for that. And we do want to remind you, you do have access to a LastPass MSP free trial. So you could literally follow along with Jen and deploy your free LastPass trial and get started quickly. So what I'll do is kind of just get back, recap a little here. Jen shared the look and feel of the console, how to deploy your free internal use licenses, setting up admin roles and user roles, key policy settings, how to set up a managed client. That's really the key here, is deploying this into your client base, and shared some of the access to resources in the partner portal. So with that, we're just gonna see if we have any questions. We're gonna have Rich and Leah kind of walk through, and if there's any questions, we want to make sure all of you heard or saw in the Q&A. So I don't know, Rich, Leah, if you want to jump in and either turn the video on, you have any questions you want to share with the audience, and kind of while you're deciding, I might just throw out, I'm former Autotask channel chief, so appreciate all the Autotask partners out there, as well as my friends at ConnectWise, Kaseya, everywhere out there. But you know, we worked close with that dev team on the Autotask integration. I see that question in there. And typically what it's going to do is bring in your users so you can quickly invite them. And then it's going to manage your billing and sync with your contracts. So if you need more detail on that, I'm sure reaching out to Leah or Jen, you'll get the help you need. So Rich, any questions out there you want to share?
I mean, there's some questions in there. There's some, you know, getting down in there, but we're going to respond to each one of those a little bit privately just because of some of the way the questions are. So, yeah, so let's just continue. We only have about 13 minutes left.
Wonderful. Great. So then, you know, want to give Jen a big shout out again. There's Jen's email in case you guys are, you know, partners and want to connect. If you want to speak with Jen, you know, you have to be a partner. She kind of works with our partners along with Leah and brings everyone on board. So again, thanks, Jen, for a really solid session. And we'll kind of, I've been sharing, we have a free trial available to all the attendees. And it is a 14-day trial that you pretty much have access to the entire product. You can deploy it internally, make sure you like it, probably test out and deploy it to a closely held client and get started quickly. So I guess key question here is, are you interested in a trial? If you are, you know, let us know. Do you want to be reached out? You know, you want one of Rich's team to contact you for a free trial now? You know, maybe you're in the middle of month end, maybe you've got some things going on, maybe you want us to contact you in 60 days, or you're either a partner and you already have LastPass MSP, and maybe you're just not ready, you're just here to learn more. So why don't you share with us? We'll take a look at the poll here and see. We've got a bunch of partners out there, which is great. We definitely were hoping a bunch of partners would join on this session. We've definitely seen partners try to go at it alone. And one thing I'll share with you is, you know, Jen, Leah, and the team under Karen Seeley over at LastPass really are focused on helping you go to market quickly. So if you're an existing partner, you're a new partner, we've got a pretty robust, a comprehensive, we'll call it, onboarding and enablement journey. And, you know, you should definitely take part in it. You know, I used to be an MSP probably 20 years, and we all want to tackle it ourselves. And one of the things, you know, I work with a lot of vendors in the space right now, and it's all about helping partners go to market. And how do we help you go to market quickly into your client base? And that's what we're going to bring Tony in to do. We've got a great poll turnout. So let's close the poll. If you want to get your last vote in, especially if you want a free trial now, that's great. But let's see what we got. And we might as well share, right? We've got, you know, over more than half, or actually half our partners already. We've got folks looking for a free trial, which is fantastic. Some looking later on, not at this time. And, you know, some of you have to go back in and check internally. We'll be happy to work with you should you decide to come back. So really appreciate the responses. And with that, I'm going to bring in Tony, who's jumped on. How you doing, Tony?
Hey, I'm good, Len. Thanks a lot.
Great. So Tony Haller, you got the ball.
All right, cool. Well, so the next couple slides we're going to walk through. So Jen talked a little bit about the partner exchange and just some of the resources. If you're on one of our previous webinars, we really dug into it in a little bit more detail. But for the purposes of today, we'll kind of go high level. But so, you know, this is one area that when you think about just the overall resources and the value adds that we provide to our partners, you know, instead of having to go out and recreate all of this marketing and kind of start from scratch, we've put together some really comprehensive stuff. So specifically, this playbook is a great way to get out of the gate strong, you know, kind of, you know, understand where you can, you know, pull some levers and resources of ours internally and really help get to market quickly. I'm going to jump to the next slide for me there, Len. All right. So one of the things aside from the playbook is where we house all of our branded assets. So one of the nice things about this tool is it's designed to let you basically co-brand the majority of this stuff inside of the tool. So again, our whole goal is that you guys get out of the gate strong. We provide you with all kinds of content, but that way you guys don't have to spend time creating it yourself and can go work with your clients, generate revenue faster and just get moving quickly. So, a great way to target clients anymore is through, email and social media. That's where a lot of people really start their buying journey nowadays anyway. And so to help with that, we've got a library of all kinds of different templates, pre-made social media cards that you can use, again, all housed in that partner exchange. And so thinking about just having some ready-made campaigns to help you really drive awareness and market to your clients. So another area is PowerPoint presentation. So thinking about, if you're going to have the opportunity to get in front of clients, whether that's an in-person meeting like at a chamber event, or if you're going to host some type of a webinar, some type of, virtual event, we've got tons of content there for you too. So, email templates to get folks to those events alongside PowerPoint decks and speaking points that are all built out. So that way you can confidently talk through the value proposition that LastPass provides to the client. And then in certain cases too, I think Jen may have mentioned that we can even, actually help you guys along that. So as you kind of, get more comfortable with LastPass, in the early days, we can help you with doing an end client demo or helping you, basically sell alongside you to make sure that you guys have all the resources you need. All right, so this is one area that we covered a little bit more detail in the last webinar, but it's just kind of an overview. We always want to arm folks with just how to overcome objections. So you've got all this great content to target the end client, but sometimes you do meet some objections. So we wanted to put basically our top 2 objections that we see most often. So the first one is that, it's just not really a priority right now. And so, usually when I hear that, I always think about, the fact that breaches are continuing to, happen day in, day out. Roughly 80% of all breaches stem from some type of poor password hygiene anyway. So if you put it off and delay it, you're really just, putting that environment at risk. So obviously, act as soon as possible to put in some type of password management solution. The next objection that we hear a lot is that free is good. And so obviously having something is better than nothing. A lot of areas where the free version of LastPass falls short is around some of the security policies and then the overall ability for our MSP partners to actually manage LastPass for their end clients. So thinking about extra security policies, enhanced MFA solutions, and then just as being more of a well-rounded security solution that all of our MSP partners can provide as a total solution, really differentiates free versus the MSP version that your end clients would pay for. And then, last but not least, it certainly doesn't hurt to be number 1. So LastPass is the market leader. I mean, there's a reason why we've got over 1 billion sites protected. We've got tons of people logging in, day out. We've really leaned in heavy into helping grow our partners as we come through this year and hopefully out into years to come. And so that should help let folks kind of sleep well at night knowing that they've partnered with an industry leader. So I know that was a quick run through, but I know we're getting short on time. So with that, Len, I'll throw it back to you.
Yeah, great, Tony. I think, certainly what you shared is, how partners could get started quickly once they've kind of gone through one of Jen or Leah's onboarding sessions. And, I worked really close with the team, and I know there's a lot of assets, a lot of tools partners can use to get started quickly. So thanks for that, Tony. And as we kind of get to the end of our webinar here, we know whether you're a partner or not, that, we want to make sure that we are reaching out to you. So what we'll do is, we'll just launch this last poll. If it says, no, you're already a partner and you want to respond to the poll and still be contacted, if you're a partner, just reach yes, contact me ASAP. If you're actually looking to get your trial, we suggest you email Rich, but it doesn't hurt to say contact me now or in 60 days. I know we kind of had that trial question earlier. Here, we just want to make sure that if you don't want the trial, you want somebody to contact you, we want to make sure that we're chatting with you, helping you, decide what to do, maybe walk through the product, maybe do a demo, continue to educate you about what LastPass MSP can do for you, and certainly learn how you're out there going to market, how we can help and support you. And I think it's real key to make sure we've got open lines of communication And this is a way we can continue to engage. And we take these webinars seriously. As you can see, like you, we've invested, resources. We want to make sure that you are either a happy partner, you're happy as you consider LastPass, and even if you're not, you just want to learn more, happy to reach out. So with that, I'll kind of get that last vote in and kind of see, and we just want to be upfront. And Rich, I think this is a really good poll. We've got, again, a bunch of partners out there and a bunch of folks looking to hear more. So really appreciate your participation in the polls. Thanks, Tony, for that great presentation. And I do want to give a shout out to our partners at OSR, who, we know we've got some special invited guests here from the OSR partner community. So thanks for joining us. OSR is a partner we work with here at MSP Toolkit, MSP solution for sales growth, helping you recruit, hire, train, and manage our sales team. We know that's a difficult area for a lot of partners. So if you're looking to really accelerate sales growth, especially around LastPass MSP, mention you're a LastPass MSP partner, get a free 30-minute consultation from OSR, hit that email, sales@osrmanage.com, and mention you're a LastPass MSP partner for that free evaluation. So some next steps, Rich has joined me here so you can kind of put a name to a face here and a face to a name, but take advantage of the free trial offer if you're not a partner, and email Rich Getch at goto.com. Looks like I got that spelt right there, Rich, right?
That's right.
Request your free trial. You'll get a personal follow-up from Tony or someone else on the team, and we're going to share a more detailed onboarding link along with the link to this webinar, which Jen did a great job kind of highlighting a couple of quick areas that you can touch on as you get started quickly. So with that, we'll kind of open it up for some questions and answers. And if we have any more left, Rich, you can kind of guide it. We've got a couple minutes left. We got Jen joining us. We got Tony back. Leah, hopefully jumping in with that video screen. And
I'm here.
nice. So team, again, Jen, nice job. Rich, why don't you see what questions are out there that you'd like to share with the audience, if any?
Yeah, I think there's some questions. Leah and I kind of chewed through them as the webinar progressed. But I mean, a lot of the things I saw was there's some partners here that they're currently signed up with ShareWeb or tier 2 distributors, and it's really where you want to be. If you want to go through those distributors, we absolutely partner with them to get you LastPass MSP product. But if you want, you can absolutely go direct. You can go through the distributor. So it's whatever you want to do. Again, just reach out to me and we can have a further discussion on that. So, but every other question, I think, was done a fantastic job doing. I know there's a couple things in there. Leo, if you want to touch on that one from Bob, he said, can we convert existing LastPass accounts into the MSP portal?
Yes, so we do have a process in place for helping you, what we call migrate your customers that are already direct LastPass customers into being a managed company, but every situation is unique. So it's best if you reach out to your partner manager and then they can take a look at all the accounts that you'd like to get moved under and make sure what the next steps are. But there's some documentation that would need to be signed by you and your partner. And it's basically a billing change on the back end because you'll be billing them going forward if you are there, if they are under you. So do reach out with any questions on that. We're happy to look at it and help you get that done.
Yeah, and again, this slide, my name's spelled wrong on this one too as well. So it's just rich.getch@goto.com. So it's 12 o'clock straight up. So anything else, Len?
No, but I don't understand, Rich, what happened here. I know your name. We've only worked for a year together, actually 5 or more. I don't even know how long, but so I guess if we're done with the questions and nothing from the audience, I did want to share, we did put a PDF version of the slide deck up in the handout, so you can download them now. We'll also include a link to this webinar and to the handout. So with that, want to thank you all or congratulate you all for attending the webinar. We had a great turnout. Hopefully we shared some solid information that'll help you get started quickly. using LastPass MSP, not only in your business, but out in your client base. And, as that last question attested, you got a lot of clients out there using LastPass. Go grab them, use them as case studies, go grab some more clients, some new business. So with that, maybe we'll have, we'll start with Tony. Anything to sign off with, Tony?
You're muted.
Yep, sorry. Just thanks again, everybody, for joining. I hope you guys found it, educational. If this is something you guys want to do and move forward with, please feel free to reach out to Rich. I'm glad to get you guys going.
Great. Maybe we'll go with Leah.
Yeah, just take advantage of all the resources that we have, because we do have a lot of them, and most of them will answer a lot of questions, but we're here to help when you're ready to deploy.
Fantastic. And maybe the star, Jen, doing a great job on the overview of onboarding.
Pretty much same thing as Leah said, definitely, if you get into the program and you see some emails coming from me to get that onboarding scheduled, definitely get that scheduled with me, because like I said, we'll get into everything you need to know in more detail and make sure that you're good and up and running. So hopefully I look forward to working with a lot of you that were on the call here today.
Awesome. And I would say, Jen, between you and Leah, hundreds and hundreds of MSPs have been enabled.
Yep.
That's correct. Yes.
Rich, any last words?
No, just reach out again. I'm trying to respond to a couple more that have come in, but no, just reach out to me, and look forward to getting you with one of my experts on my team to take you on a good journey. So
awesome. And again, I'll just kind of leave some emails up there. If you haven't, grabbed them yet, take a screenshot, whatever you need to get a hold of Rich or Leah, Jen, Tony. And, with that, there's my email, and really appreciate you guys jumping in. Stay tuned. We're going to have another webinar in the series. Probably, if you maybe want to throw in what you'd like to see for the next webinar, we're thinking, maybe a panel of existing LastPass partners, maybe some partners going through the trial, just kind of talk through some real life scenarios, but maybe a pricing and bundling session. But if we still have a bunch of folks on there, so if you want to kind of put something in that Q&A, that'd be great. What would you look to see now? Otherwise, we're going to kind of sign off right now. Again, it says thank you. I always like to congratulate you for taking the time to work on your business and not in it, and appreciate you joining LastPass MSP Onboarding Accelerator. So have a great day, everyone. Talk soon.
thanks.
All right, thanks.